Oh, hey there, Oz.
Hey, Curtis.
Hey, dare I ask, what do you have for us this week?
Well, I found a way to watch the following in only an hour and a half.
Okay.
An episode of MST3K,
Yep.
Charlie's Angels,
Makes sense.
WKRP in Cincinnati,
Okay.
any Scooby-Doo episode, all filmed in Silicon Valley.
Got it.
Instead of watching all those, this week we're just going to watch Lethal Ladies Return to Savage Beach.
Oy.
Boy is right.
Oh my goodness. We've officially crossed the threshold, Oz.
Yes. Easily the worst film we've reviewed.
Yes. Loosely described as a film.
Yeah. It was. I don't know how many times I texted you over the course of the 3 days I took to watch this movie.
The 3 days it took you to watch a 90-minute film.
I broke it into half-hour chunks because I just couldn't anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, 39 seconds in, I love this movie. Like, I just, because opening credits, like, it just hit that vibe of like, yes, I know I'm going to be watching trash. And so I have my trash mind on, like my trash goggles on. And I'm like, yeah, this is good looking trash. Like, I love it. It's just,
boy, is this movie trashy.
It's low budget. Like, it's that perfect mixture of just sleaze. Like, the creative people minds behind this are just sleaze, but at the same time, they hire people that are like, I want to be in a sleazy movie.
Yeah.
And so it feels wholesome in a way that it's like, well, and
it's an interesting word used.
Well, but here. It's like everybody involved is happy with what they're doing.
Sure. Okay. There's,
I mean,
it's true to what they were trying to do. I
yeah,
guess,
like
it's for better and for worse. It authentically is exactly what it was trying to be.
Like, I felt like you've got like a 65-year-old director that this is the 12th movie in this loose franchise. Started in 85. This movie came out in 98. So it's like 13 years, 12 movies in this franchise. Most of the people in the movies are the same people, like the same actresses and actors in these films. But at the same time, like, you've got this greasy, what I can only presume to be just this kind of gross 65-year-old man that's making these movies, but he's getting the financing for them.
Somebody's giving him the money.
Somebody's giving him the money, which means there's people that want to watch him make these movies.
Yes. Yeah. That's going to come up later, like, as far as like who's really watching these. But before we've already gotten a little too far to Oz. Who are we?
Well, I feel like I need a black, like I need to be sitting in the shadows. Like,
I know I need a brown paper bag, exactly. like a Detroit Lions fan.
Well, anyway, so welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Let's Talk About Flicks, the podcast where we take a monthly theme. This is the final. We're nail in the coffin to ladies movies.
Yes, ladies movies. Because last month was it was man movie month, and so we went to the other end of the gender spectrum.
Yeah, we are proverbially popping that balloon today as we
cross the Rubicon.
Yeah, there we go. As we are closing the door on ladies movies month, we will be revealing August's theme at the end of the episode, which is a much more comfortable theme.
I think so. The next month is like, it's like a big bowl of mac and cheese.
It is
comfort month.
Yeah, I agree. So, but we do want to give a shout out to Patreon subscribers: Don S, Aaron A, Maddie K, Melissa L, and Colin K. Thank you once again for your patronage. But yeah, we're talking about Lethal Ladies Return to Savage Beach, otherwise really just known as Return to Savage Beach.
Yes.
But yeah, it was my pick. I'm broken into half-hour installments. It was at least digestible. But it is one that if I hadn't been married for 15 years and father of two, and I just was super lonely. This movie probably would have scratched a different itch, but
be careful with your phrasing there.
And but no, this is a movie.
Did this movie ever get like, you know, did HBO or like Cinemax or Showtime? I don't know the answer to that, and I doubt you do either. But
I have this really vague recollection that I've seen this, or at least part of this before.
Sure.
And it was a Cinemax kind of thing.
Yeah.
Only because the only thing that sticks in my mind that really kind of come close to home was I remember Marcus Bagwell under a waterfall with a lady.
Yes.
Does it mean it was this one? I don't know.
It could have been. It could have been any lady. It could have been any waterfall.
Right. It could have been any of the other 11 movies in this franchise.
Any body of water.
But I do remember watching a film when I was younger. I don't know when. Of like, but I'd seen enough professional wrestling at the time that I knew who Buff Bagwell was.
Yes.
And when I saw him not in the squared circle, but under a waterfall with a lady, I was like, hey, that's Buff Bagwell.
Yeah.
It may have been this one. I don't know. But
can I give you what my movie Marriage would have included?
Yes, please do.
It's one of those, like, I take a lot of pride. And honestly, of everything we do in this show, I enjoy our movie Marriage.
I do
probably
too.
more than anything else, at least as far as like the creative element.
It's a challenge.
It is, yeah. And I had, this is just going to be in no particular order. I was just jotting things down. American Ninja.
Okay, yeah.
Red Shoe Diaries.
Okay.
Phantom of the Opera.
I had that. At one point.
Yes.
I took it off and put Scooby-Doo instead.
Yeah. The end of The Lord of the Rings Return of the King. Because this movie just didn't end.
Well, and everybody just shows up unexplicably at the same place.
Exactly. While as well as WCW Monday Nitro.
That would have worked too. Yeah. All filmed in Silicon Valley.
all filmed in Silicon Valley. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. But like I was getting at earlier, you know, where you've got the Sidaris director that clearly is like, he's making a film that he wants to watch for people who also want to watch it. But the people in the film clearly want to be looked at.
Yes. Why else would you allow yourself to be in this kind of movie?
And so, you know, this wasn't an upstart for someone, but it's like there are a lot of you know, prosthetic. No, not prosthetics. Not the right word. Could be, but it's like there's a lot of breast enhancement going on, but to the point that it's like cartoonish.
It is very cartoonish.
It's one thing to have it done like for your, you know, just emotional stability or something like that, but like these ladies are like, keep going.
It's like a bunch of Jessica Rabbits running around.
Yeah, it's like way overboard. And they've done multiple of these films. And same with the guys. Like, to be fair, Buff Bagwell is the least impressive physique in this movie.
Yeah, all the dudes are chiseled.
They are jacked. Now, I saw something in the trivia, you may have seen it too, that like Marcus Bagwell had commented, I don't remember, I'm going to let you get to the characters here in a minute. But one of the guys, the guy with the longer hair, not the real dumb guy, that reminded me, honestly, I looked at him like, he looks like a jacked Robert Carradine.
Yeah. Well, there's Tyler. Is it Tyler? And there's Doc.
Yeah, I don't know which one's which. But the guy with the long hair that was pretty monosyllabic.
I think it was Doc.
But like Bagwell had said, like outside of Lex Luger, like that guy's got the best physique he's ever seen, and he was just every muscle he's figured out a way to maximize it. But it's even those, like, you don't put that much effort into your body if you don't want someone to just oogle you. And so everyone, that's why I felt like, with the exception, I'll let you get to it at the cast, but with the exception of a certain radio co-host that really felt out of nowhere. Yeah. Everybody else was there. You're in this because you wanted to be looked at.
Yeah.
So that's what I meant by wholesome. It's like, hey, everyone's happy because they're getting what they want. All right. Characters.
Yeah, well, as you mentioned before, again, this movie was written and directed by Andy Sidaris. Not that Sidaris family.
Not that one.
Yeah, Amy and David don't make any appearances in this one.
Well, we don't know. Amy may have been balled up inside of a boob.
Maybe. She just curled up. So we have Julie Strain as Willow Black. I think she was in the previous movie as well.
You would know.
I've got this whole series on 4K.
Yes. Streaming 24/7.
It's always
At
on
any
rotation.
point, I get a Malibu production video.
Yep. We have Rodrigo Obregon as Rodrigo Martinez
because
the
changing his name was confusing to him.
Yes, the bad guy ?
Yeah.
And then we have a couple like pairs of agents. We have Julie K. Smith as Cobra, and her partner Christian Letier's Tyler.
And Cobra.
we have Shay Marks as Tiger, and her partner Paul Logan as Doc.
Man,
I think they're based out of like Beverly Hills, and like there's a pair in Dallas, there's a pair in Beverly Hills. Then we have the mysterious Carrie Westcott as Sophia. Apparently, Carrie Westcott was a Playboy playmate.
It doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, at least according to the Wikipedia, she is.
And your collection.
And my collection. Yeah, it's propping up my bed right now. We have Gerald Okamura as Fu. We've got
who was in Big Trouble in Little China.
Yes, I thought he looked familiar, and I looked him up. Yeah, and then we have, I think last but not least, we have Ava Caldwell as Ava. Yeah, I got a real stretch there.
Yeah.
And we have, and I think this is the one you were pausing on before, as Harry the Cat, the Ava's co-host. We have, of all people, the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle comic book creator, Kevin Eastman.
Yeah.
How did he get wrapped up in this?
Perf.
That's just it. A lot of TNA in the original Ninja Turtles.
And like, to be fair, if that's why he wanted to be in a movie like this, he got completely robbed because he was on one set the entire film, and everyone was fully clothed in his scenes. So it's almost like I just want to be part. Like I want to be part.
I don't know. And then as I prematurely said before, last but not least, we have Marcus Buff Bagwell as Warrior. Who I think was Willow Black's nemesis in the prior movie.
Yeah. And to be honest, that may have been the one I've seen. I don't know. Like, and when I say scene, that's literally all I've seen of it is a scene, not the entire movie.
The only thing that's stuck in the old noggin
was like, hey, that's Buff Bagwell.
Yep. No buff blockbusters in this.
No. Which is odd. This movie does not have a lot of characters, but half of them are useless.
Oh, yeah, there's no point to most of these characters.
I would say, of the characters in this film that deserve to be mentioned, it's those three and those two. Like, the two guys, their counterparts, the leader, I don't care about their names.
Mm-hmm.
And then probably Sophia and Rodrigo. That's it. Like, we got seven people that really matter to whatever kind of plot this movie has. The others I don't know why they're there.
Well, you know why they're there,
but really I don't, because your radio host. Why? She's in like a pool lounge chair.
Was she the WKRP in Cincinnati reference?
Yes.
as God is my witness, I thought turkeys could fly. You ever see that episode of WKRP?
That would be the first episode of WKRP.
Got it. I think that's the most famous line.
I know the reference, but I haven't seen that.
They throw turkeys out of the helicopter.
But then there was like the lady of Asian descent. That was probably the only one without enhancement.
Yeah, there was zero. She was just present.
She was just, why was she there?
She's present.
I don't know.
You're at why questions in this movie don't go together. There is no why to this movie.
All right, so
let's get into the juicy plot.
To be fair, listeners, this may end up being one of the shorter episodes of our run, because like we were talking before the show, the scene by scene breakdown just doesn't really work for this film, because the majority of the scenes are useless.
Well, and again, I'll throw out a question now that could very well come back up later, and it maybe is my like who, and I know the answer to this, and it's gross, but who is this movie for?
Andy Sidaris.
Yeah,
I mean, and just there is movies like this get made in the same kind of filmmaking universe that trauma films get made.
Sure. Yeah, it's very adjacent to like a trauma.
And that trauma movies they're not good.
They're not supposed to be good.
Right. And movies like this aren't supposed to be good either. This movie's got a lot more production value than a trauma movie does, which is why trauma has its charm.
Mm-hmm.
Because you see the creativity there. There's no creativity to films like this. But you're right. Like this movie is made for a certain demographic of people that either are openly into this stuff or closeted into this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And movies like this also are like readily available. Like, give me just a second here. Where can you watch this movie? Anywhere, really. Like Apple TV, you can rent it. It's on Tubi. It's on Plex. It's on Amazon. Like
it's on Tubi.
yeah. And so it's you could. Now, this is one of those movies also that if I'm looking for like a on-demand movie on Plex to just pass the time, I'm not stopping at this one. I mean, just in general, like this is one of those. It's a filler of like we got thousands of movies available, but this is one of those movies.
It probably cost them $10 to get the rights to this.
Yeah, that nobody is probably stopping to watch, and so it does. It really reminds me, of like this Malibu Films or whatever that Sidaris does. It does. It reminds me of like a trauma-esque, like, hey, we made a movie. We actually got some, back in 85, whatever, Malibu Express or whatever it was. They made the movie they wanted. Fine. Back in the 80s, you want to put TNA in a movie. It is, like welcome to the club. But you kind of build that kind of cult following of, I love that movie. My buddies watch that movie. And I watch that movie after the kids go to bed. And, and it's like, okay, well, I'll just keep pumping them out then, because it's for the investors. Because again, like this movie was filmed in Hawaii. It's filmed on locations. They've got a submarine. They've got yachts. They've got jet skis. Like there's money pumped into this film.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. But I'm with you. Like it's one of those, I guess, that I don't think I would want to be friends with someone who's openly into this. Like,
hey, you want to come hang out and have a 6-pack and watch Lethal Ladies?
Yeah. Hey, check out this new tattoo I got, and it's like it's Cobra and Tiger. Like, that's the kind of person I don't think I would want to like rub shoulders with socially. Which is why to me it's comical that we bring it into the show here, like completely as a joke. I mean,
there's a lot of unintentional humor,
right? And
in this movie,
and you and I know that this movie was picked as a joke, as we were looking at like what do we want to throw in, and I'm like, hey, this movie looks like trash. And when I text you things like I love this movie, it was because of the trash. Do I enjoy a film like this? No, like I said, it took me 3 times to finish the movie. and I said to my wife before I come in here, because she knew what I watched. Of course, she didn't watch it with me, but I told her, I'm like, I'm going to tell, like, don't let me pick trash like this again. Like, even though it's funny to me, like, and who know, you know what? I'm kind of projecting now. We're going to see analytics. This is going to be one of those like big big watched videos, but duration's only going to be like 18 seconds as people realize, oh, these guys are ripping on that film, and then they just drop out.
And it's all going to be Andy Sidaris.
Exactly. Post-mortem Andy Sidaris.
A podcast is finally talking critically about my acclaimed movie.
It's about time. So plot-wise, oh my, we've got like 20 minutes in and I haven't even started. But you know what? At 28 minutes, we might be done. So the movie starts with somebody swimming, and we're seeing underwater camera of her swimming. It's not the first time we see underwater camera of people swimming.
Nope.
But the names would help.
Willow Black.
Willow, there you go.
Willow.
So
Willow.
It's Warwick Davis.
Warwick Davis swims over the camera.
I would love that. Like that would actually improve the movie. So,
and of course he's mostly nude.
Yeah, but he still has on the cloak somehow.
Yeah.
So Willow Black reports to a house. She's in charge. Everyone's kind of surprised to see her. She comes to this place. We've got Ninja Turtle guy just he's kind of running a radio.
Yeah, it's like they have broadcasting equipment.
Yeah,
there.
They've got broadcasting equipment, but it only broadcasts like 2 briefcases. But they still speak in code. You could just call each other, I guess. And we've got one lady that is the sextrologist at KSXY radio.
A personal sextrologist, which is like a combination of like a
meteorologist and Dr. Ruth, I guess.
I think astrologist, meteorologist. She'll also
You're probably more right than I am.
Also talking about like weather fronts coming in.
It's a traffic analyst.
Was it Brick from Anchorman?
Yeah, exactly. So she's got this real sultry voice, as you know, you're listening to KSXY, but they never play anything.
No, it's just her talking.
She only talks occasionally over the airwaves. So if you tune into this radio station,
it's gonna come up later. Just heads up.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
it's like you're driving down the 405 and you're flipping through radio stations, and this one's just dead air. And then occasionally, she'll pop in. And is she Ava? Is she the Ava?
That's Ava. Yes,
okay.
Ava.
You know, Ava, your sextrologist. Like what?
You're a personal sextrologist.
Right. How personal can you be if you're on the airwaves?
She's my sextrologist, not yours. Right. Mine.
Quit listening. It's mine. So we get word that I don't even know what the root cause of the commotion is, other than we've got 2 teams elsewhere, mainly so we could show them in big houses with fancy cars.
The Warriors could have been another movie marriage.
Yeah.
With like the coded radio
messages.
Yeah,
that's true. And we have a warrior in the movie, so.
Yeah, that's true. Didn't even think of that part of it.
And so she basically puts out on over the airwaves. We've got a group of like the foot soldiers are, these people are trying to steal something.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter what. Like, they're trying to steal a tape.
There's it's something about terrorists and nonsense.
Right. It's dumb. And so we got to call the troops in, which of course they are always either bikini clad for the ladies, topless, basically just shorts on for the guys. They're just hanging out.
Or towel clad.
Right. They're just hanging out in their respective homes as a work couple, but also romantically involved. They're never listening to the radio. Well, they're never really listening to the radio, watching TV, or reading. They're just sitting with the camera on them, waiting for their scene to start. Like I like to think that when Ava's not on the air, that's what they're doing. They're just sitting still,
just in silence,
just sitting and waiting for the report. It's like Yul Brynner in Westworld being awoken to go to work.
Yul Brynner,
and so
he would have worked in this movie. Yul Brynner as warrior,
as Ava, and so they need to report in. for something, for some
Sure,
reason.
because they're like spies and like anti-terrorists, something or other.
Well, I should have taken down what lethal stands for. Did you happen to take that down?
No.
No. And so I'm trying to follow. I've got a couple of articles open that have covered the plot a little bit. And so, no, not that one. Let me go to this.
That's right. I'm looking at my notes. Terrorists are running weapons from the Pacific Rim.
There you go. So Willow Black, she calls everyone in, and we find out that they're mad because there's a crew of terrorists hanging out in Texas that are importing guns into the USA. So these terrorists, just two of them.
Well, I mean, it is plural.
They steal a boat that belongs to Tiger and Tyler.
Yeah, it belongs to Lethal.
Yeah. And so they chase them off. They kill these terrorists while blowing up their own boat.
Some sweet jet ski action.
Yeah, they got some sweet jet skis. So the Lethal people, I'm almost verbatim reading from this plot breakdown here. The Lethal people, they go back to their places to celebrate because they've always got a bottle of champagne at the ready.
Oh, of course.
They never really ever drink it. They just toast it and then take their clothes off. And so we get cut to a scene at these like top secret Lethal offices where we get this blonde we haven't seen yet, Sophia.
Sophia
changes into her, like, if you thought Britney Spears and her like tight red plastic suit was revealing, this lady took that suit and cut it into a bikini and put that on. I did read also in the trivia that this was actually out of Kerry Westcott's personal like wardrobe.
Oh, good for her.
Yeah. Saves on the budget that way.
Well, yeah, you got to cut corners.
So she shows up and literally barely anything. She's got like fruit roll-ups covering covering her nudity. But she
bubble tape.
Exactly. I just opened a pizza place downstairs and I want to give free samples.
Really sells it too.
Yeah, and everyone's like, "Oh, okay."
Free pizza.
I really, really enjoyed the scene with the lady and the old lady that were like at reception.
Yeah.
I did enjoy it because these two clearly, like, this is my mom and this is my sister. Can they be in the movie?
Yeah.
Watching them pass out from this pizza. Anyway, Sophia breaks in and steals some Lethal files that were on a computer. She puts them on I almost said something technologically advanced, a flash drive. Puts them on a floppy disk.
No, 3.5-inch floppy disk.
Makes a copy of a floppy disk.
Not before she broke into, as my notes indicate, a service merchandise grade wooden file cabinet.
She did. Yeah, she did.
I remember bringing several of those out to people's cars. 16-year-old me.
Back in the day.
Back at K's Merchandise in Bradley, Illinois.
Let's stop. Let's talk more about that. That's probably more interesting than the rest of this movie. Mm-hmm. And so Sophia, she just makes copies of the files. She doesn't actually steal the files or even delete the files. She just makes copies of the files. How? I don't know. I'm pretty tech savvy, but I don't know if it's possible to tell, especially back in 1998, if someone has copied your file. Like, how would you know someone copied your file? I don't know.
I don't know. C:\copy.
I guess. So she takes this about a shipment of gold that went missing during World War II, and it was washed up on Savage Beach. Long story short, she needs the coordinates to Savage Beach.
Yeah, like that's really kind of what this all hinges on.
Which is
old gold at Savage Beach.
Which is funny because this movie is called Return to Savage Beach because one of the predecessors to this movie is a film called Savage Beach, in which the people in this film, at least their characters, have already been to Savage Beach, including Rodrigo, who they brought him back for this film because he was in Savage Beach. And what, like, that's really not that you want to think too hard, but everybody in this movie has already been to Savage Beach, yet everybody in this movie doesn't know where it's at.
I mean, it's hard to get to.
It's true. It's probably over by Skull Island.
I mean, Waze didn't exist at this point.
True. That's true. And so, yeah, this gold washed up on Savage Beach from a like bombed World War II Japanese boat. And they need to find where it's at for reasons.
Yes. Because gold.
Yeah. So the gold was returned to the Philippines government, but then was stolen again and is missing.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter.
Tyler's dad was involved. He's one of the agents. He gave him a gold medallion, and there's like a hidden diary in one of the safe houses.
Like Tyler expositions everything.
Yes.
I guess in an attempt to clear it up, but it really doesn't matter. But it's like word for word everything that happened and was still super confusing.
Yeah. It's odd that in a movie this simple, the plot is still all over the place. It's still hard to follow.
Like bird's eye view of this plot, it's easy. You've got warring factions trying to get to the gold on this beach. Good guys versus bad guys who can get to the gold first. Like
somehow they overcomplicate that.
Seriously, like the 10 cents, the dollar sentence explanation of this is that simple. Good guys and bad guys are looking for gold on a beach.
Yeah.
But you're right.
No, there's governments and there's betrayal of governments and there's a diary and like no.
Yeah, we got Scooby-Doo endings, and so
it's Old Man Withers from the amusement park.
And so it's Lethal's job to get the gold back. Computer discs. I don't know.
You're really struggling.
I am. Why did I pick this stupid movie? Any chance we can get once we introduce our characters, Sidaris takes any opportunity he can to get clothes off people.
Yeah. Well, it's in Beverly Hills, Cobra and Doc, are in a safe house there, and her cover, I don't know what it is that they're covering for, is she's hiding in broad daylight as a stripper.
Yeah. Right.
I don't know why they need a cover.
Right.
Just stay in the safe house.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Like no one's knocking on your door.
No.
So the lethal teams are headed to Savage Beach. The girls, they track down the tourists. There's a bunch of one of them is like an explosions expert where she arms remote control tanks.
Yeah, she's in demolitions. She's the demolitions expert.
Yeah, she like straps bombs to remote control tanks and then drives them unnoticed, apparently, at whatever she wants to explode and then detonates
while taking heavy gunfire.
Stormtroopers are a better shot than anyone in this movie.
It's on the weekends. She's really in a local RC tournament.
Yeah, exactly right. And that should have been her cover. It's like she runs like an RC store,
sexy RC store,
sexy. But there's like every gunfight in this movie is people taking turns ducking behind trees.
Yeah,
because that's where they attach the squibs, is to the trees.
Mm-hmm.
And so like nobody shoots at anybody. They just shoot at
they're shooting at trees.
So that
they keep shooting those cans. Get away from the cans.
Cans are defective. So the girls go to Savage Beach. They're tracking. They go on an airplane. They go on a seaplane.
Well, they can't all go in the plane because the plane's not big enough.
No.
So a couple of them have to go in a boat.
Yeah. So the girls go via airplane to Savage Beach. They get there first. The bad guys take a submarine, so Lethal can no longer track them. So they don't know when
their satellites aren't capable of tracking submarines. So they knew it.
They head there anyway, like via yacht, not speedboat.
over to the South Pacific.
Right. Yeah. From Texas or wherever.
From Texas. From Arkansas.
Right.
From a landlocked state.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah.
The girls get there and they find the treasure. By the way, they're wearing like A-frame tank tops that are working way too hard.
Yeah,
these women are
pretty gross.
These women actually are so top heavy, front loaded that even a baggy sweater is going to look tight on them. But they're wearing, their khaki pants or khaki shorts, I should say. No, they're pants. They're dressed as Laura Croft, but look like video game Laura Croft.
Those are tactical shorts.
These are tactical boobs. But they find the treasure.
Military grade boobs.
So they find the treasure, and then they look at each other and go, "So you want to take that swim?" Like, I'll give Sidaris credit, I guess, that he does segue his dialogue into each scene. Like, they don't just cut to them swimming and you're left wondering, like, why are they swimming? No, they actually have the conversation.
Yeah.
Like, he understands the simplicity of anything can happen if you introduce it.
Mm-hmm.
And so
as long as you say what you're doing.
Right. And so that's what they do. And this very low common denominator of this film is we're just going to preface the next scene by just saying what we're going to go do. And it ties up any, like, plot holes. Like, so they do. They then change. They're in their, like, safari outfits.
Mm-hmm.
Then they change into swimsuits. They go run into the water and then immediately take off their swimsuit.
Yep.
Why did you put it on to begin with?
Again, you're asking why questions.
I know. Should be asking how. Where? So they go for that swim, which gives the rest of the Lethal team, which would be Willow and the guys, time. Mm-hmm. Well, Willow and a guy, because
Willow and Doc, because Tyler was captured.
Doc was captured. Tyler is the one with long hair. I think
it's the other way around.
You're right. You paid more attention than I did. You're right.
These characters meant something to me, Oz.
I connected with them on an emotional level. So they get to the beach. They meet. They rendezvous at the treasure, which is buried 2 inches below ground.
Yeah.
Because the girls tried and they couldn't break ground. It was just too hard. So let's go swimming.
And to soften up the sand.
So, yeah, they've got Doc. There was a fight with ninjas earlier where it doesn't matter. They get to the treasure. Sophia comes up, and this is where it's revealed that Sophia is actually who, up until this point, has been working with Rodrigo. Rodrigo mm-hmm. is your mastermind who just basically sits at the marina.
Yeah, in his Phantom of the Opera mask. We get his backstory of where his scarring came from. He was turned on by his. We don't get there yet. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
This is a terrible episode. We do much better with a better movie.
I think it's going great.
Sophia ends up being an Interpol agent that is actually, like, she's more in line with the Lethal people than she is with Rodrigo. But they didn't know. She literally just says, I'm an Interpol agent. And they're like, all right, you're on our team now. Like,
yeah, despite the fact that she broke in and assaulted people at the Lethal base.
Like, everything that she's done so far has seemed to be of her own accord.
Yeah. I mean, she could have just, if she's in Interpol, you'd think that they could just contact the Lethal people. Hey, I heard you got files on this.
Right.
As opposed to breaking into the...
So, but plot twist, I guess. So she ends up taking, they've got a plan. All right. It's this gold Buddha they're after. It's just a gold Buddha.
Yep.
That apparently
weighs a lot.
I was going to say it weighs about 700 pounds.
When I was doing improv back in college, we would play a warm-up game in which we would pass a pretend ball around a circle and it would change sizes and weights.
Okay. That's fine.
That's really what I thought of as they were all picking up this Buddha. They're all applying their own weight to it.
I think improv acting would have been more entertaining than this. Watching these people do improv would have been more entertaining.
that would have been good. I need an animal and a mental disorder. And we're at a bowling alley.
And so Rodrigo doesn't know that Sophia's Interpol. Lethal does know that she's Interpol. Mm-hmm. So they send her, like, you go to Rodrigo, take the treasure, and we'll swoop in. Well, it gets there. Rodrigo reveals to Sophia what's under the mask and then knocks her out. And that's when he realizes she's also Interpol. Lethal shows up and Sophia's missing. Rodrigo tries to play it off like, yeah, she never came, whatever. She grunts.
So stupid.
Sucks so bad. Oh, anyway, they nab Rodrigo. They're all there. Yes. Like everybody's there. They get Rodrigo. He tells them the story about how I was part of the crew back in World War II. Mm-hmm. Yada yada yada. My men turned on me. They took the gold. They left me for dead. I was severely scarred. They take off his mask. He's not scarred.
Yeah.
Which one was it? Not the blonde lethal lady, but the brunette lethal lady.
Willow.
No, Willow's the leader. This is the not the
the other the other one who, like, she lifted fingerprints or something.
She lifted fingerprints and basically realized he was wearing a mask, peels off the mask, and it's a character we've never seen before. Uh-huh. Turns out to be like Rodrigo's nephew or something.
Yes, his nephew Carlos.
Carlos, the very Asian-looking man, Carlos.
Yep.
And so he never really even says anything. I don't think he says any word. But hey, everybody that teleports to this marina so they all can have their champagne. Marcus Bagwell drops a couple of jokes. And case closed for the lethal ladies. And my gosh, I wish that would have taken 8 minutes instead of 20. But if that plot breakdown made no sense to you, the movie
then
won't
just
either.
Watch the movie.
The movie won't either. Like,
yeah,
I know I was kind of all over the place, but there's a lot of softcore sex scenes in this movie. Some really stupid fight scenes in this movie. Don't watch this movie. This movie is bad.
Is it a softcore pretending to be an action movie or an action movie pretending to be softcore?
Honestly, I think it's an action movie pretending to be softcore. I know that
it's shot and framed like an action movie.
Yeah.
I mean, it's clearly very low budget.
Yeah.
But, like, you know, it at a glance it looks and sounds like an action movie.
And to be fair, like, to give credit where credit is due, like, the movie looked fine. You know, like, your editor had experience in editing. There wasn't any, like, disjointed cuts or, like, I feel like everybody that was behind the making of this movie, behind the scenes, had at least some talent.
Knew how to make a movie.
Yeah. It's like, is it good? No, but it was consistent.
And it wasn't supposed to be good.
No, but it's
again,
like,
not that excuses it.
No, but it's like it was. I mean, it was going back to the trauma reference. Some of those trauma movies just look terrible.
Yeah,
they're terribly shot. They're terribly edited. But you also know you're working with someone that's probably never ever done that before.
Yeah, and
so you're like, oh, that's kind of cute, you know. But this is like, these are people. They're not going to be nominated for any awards ever, but they've got an ability, you know, like there's B-roll for this film. Like, you know, it's like their establishing shots aren't terrible. It's almost like it's got like a modicum of, and I know it's full on like exploitation, but when you think like 70s era exploitation, there's a lot of that type of vibe to it. Of like, we're going to zoom in really quickly into the penthouse level of this building, you know, from afar. Like, there's that kind of almost cheesy, but like 20 years late. So it's almost like maybe some of those same filmmaker, you know, like the same cameraman or whatever, are like still working. But again, there's there is softcore in here, but it's not even not that I'm like ranking it, but it's like it's useless softcore. I won't even call them sex scenes as much as it is just here's a naked woman with a man rubbing.
Well, it's boobs.
Yeah,
like
that's really all it is. You don't see anything else.
Yeah, there's no like intimacy or anything else. It's just boobs in a camera,
and it got to become comical because it's like these women have so much like sensation in their fake breasts, like that these. But it's just like these guys are like coming from behind and just touching them, and that is just. These women, like their heads are about to explode. Like
I'm not going to say anything.
But I'm not trying to be gross about it. But it's just like so overacted. Of like, guy comes in and like smooches you on the collarbone, and it is the most erotic thing you've ever experienced in your entire life. Like, oh man, this movie is basically the movie version of a Big Johnson T-shirt.
You're not wrong.
Yeah, it's. You want to see an hour and a half of Big Johnson live? Here it is.
Watch Lethal Ladies Return to Savage Beach.
It's a Big Johnson T-shirt.
It's a J.C. Penney's in 1998.
Right. First and 10. Do it again. Like
it's right next to the No Fear section.
Yeah, exactly. So that was this movie.
All right. Well, hey, folks. Man, at this point,
it's awful.
Oz and I each give our own unique rating to the movie, quote unquote, we've been talking about. In this case, 1998's Lethal Ladies Return to Savage Beach. Hey, Oz, how would you rate this quote unquote flick?
I'm going to give this 2 husky ninjas.
2 husky ninjas.
I feel like every ninja in this movie hadn't worked out in a while. Like, you think like you're good 80s era ninja, and they're all so athletic and fleet of foot and like believable. These,
like American Ninja.
Yeah. These ninjas were like no.
They just got done at the craft services table.
Exactly.
Give them a break.
Yeah, it's like they worked the lunch shift at Godfather's Pizza. So, what are you giving it a rating?
Oh God, I don't know. I'm gonna go with 2 flotation devices.
Okay.
I did make a note during the swimming scene that there's a lot of buoyancy.
There was surface level swimming for these ladies. That's why they were all swimming like face up.
it's gross. Like it's just gross.
It
like,
is.
That's all I can say. It's gross. There's nothing.
No.
We're gonna move on. Hey, next up, folks, is Outside Insights. Oz and I have been scouring the interwebs, searching for unprofessional reviews that tickle our funny bones, and we hope they tickle yours as well. Hey, Oz, what's your outside insight for Lethal Ladies?
Man, this is from Letterboxd.
Mm-hmm.
From it's spelled Lou, but he says rhymes with wow, so it's from Lao. He's a paid patron, and he gives it 3.5 stars. And he says, "This is a really bad movie, but it's also the pinnacle of cinema. It takes a smart person to have a thriving career creating unabashedly dumb movies. Yet Andy Sidaris was able to do it. He understood that having your movies be populated with ladies with large silicone breasts simply wasn't enough to make them entertaining. No, you also need remote-controlled toys rigged with explosives that take out the bad guys. It's just Fabulous. Suck it, Fellini." So it's like, I mean, and he's not wrong. It's like, hey, this guy realized this is my lane. I'm going to stay in this lane, and okay, like
again, it's like, who's the audience for this?
No, it's really
apparently. I mean, if the guy was able to keep making movies, someone was funding them, which means they were making money from somewhere.
Yeah. Well, you and I are not the audience for this. So
this was borderline uncomfortable to watch. By the way, like
it took me 3 times. Was I paying full attention each time? No. But to be fair, it was always on my iPad because I'm like, I don't want this on the TV in case one of the kids comes around the corner. It was easy. Like I can hit just turn it off real quick.
I can hit the tablet with a hammer faster than I can hit the TV. Hey, Dad, can I have a sandwich?
My son comes around the corner and I just throw the iPad across the room. What was that for? But yeah, I've already deleted this from the server, by the way.
Yes.
What's your outside insight?
My outside insight comes from the Internet Movie Database, left by CB Captain Ahab in January 1999, so not too long after this came out. Wrestling, women, and wackiness is the subject line in this 10 out of 10 review.
Ooh.
Not only does this movie have some really attractive women, such as Julie Strain, but it also has the amazing Marcus Bagwell, also known as Buff the Stuff. He portrays a former wrestler turned crime lord who kills his enemies in a wrestling ring. Lots of really cheesy one-liners, bad special effects, silly gunfights, wrestling, and of course, gratuitous nudity and sex. This movie is a joy to watch.
Mm-hmm.
There's other words other than joy that I could have put in there.
Chore.
Yes. Slog.
Yeah.
Insulting.
Yeah, it was bad.
Mm-hmm. Hey, folks, it's that point in the show you've all been waiting for, our signature segment, the 3, 2, 1, in which Oz and I each share 3 goods, 2 bads, and only one, about this week's movie, Lethal Ladies Return to Savage Beach. Hey, Oz, what are your 3 goods of the numerous, incalculable goods for this movie?
Well, my first one is the director made the exact movie he wanted to make.
Sure.
All right, so I guess that's a good. 2, I really did enjoy the amount of gunshots that only hit trees. Like it was comical because it was like you saw it and then you kept seeing it and they kept seeing it. And it was like overlong. Like, let's watch these 2 people alternate coming out from behind a tree 5 times in one scene. Like, I get it. You're not going to hit it.
It's your turn to shoot now.
And then it's like, and then after the 5th time, like when, what's her name? The demolitions expert would then step out from behind a tree in full view while she's being shot at.
Yeah, while she's setting up the remote control tank.
It's like, he's still shooting at her and she's like perfectly comfortable where she's at. Like, then why didn't you just start with that? Like, so that's my second good. My third one is Japanese gasoline, still effective after 40 years.
Yes, yeah. Doesn't wear out.
When Rodrigo's telling the story of how he found the plane and it's been 40 years, but I found gasoline and it still worked. That's awesome.
He had a bottle of that heat stuff, that gas treatment that you put in the winter.
He had that. He didn't have the gas, but he had the heat.
He had a yellow bottle of heat that he put in.
So that's my third good, is the potency of Japanese gasoline.
There you go.
What do you got?
Oh, God. Let's go with...
Keep it limited.
Yes. I will go with equal opportunity employers lethal employing an elderly woman at their base.
Yeah. That's a good one. Yeah.
Yeah. So good for them.
And she didn't appear to have any enhancement surgery done.
No.
So it wasn't a prereq on the application.
Yeah.
We only hire those enhanced.
So non-discriminatory hiring practices by Lethal is my first one.
To be fair, we didn't see her butt. So she may have been stacked.
Yeah, maybe that's where the Silicon Valley was.
Could have been, yeah.
My second one is simply Buff pile driving a guy to death.
Yeah, that was fun.
The traditional all pile drivers have been they are now banned.
Are they?
In WWE? Yeah, they're just too risky.
That's fair.
Yeah, so
that's the real reason Undertaker retired.
There was a story about this is early in Undertaker's career. The first time he won the belt, I guess Hogan, and it was off Hogan.
I heard this. Go ahead.
Yeah, Hogan backstage says, "I'm really nervous about taking that pile driver," and Undertaker was like, "I'll take good care of you. Don't worry about it." And I guess Undertaker was really, really, really made a point of being very careful and cautious with him. And as soon as he hit it, Hogan was like, "Oh, you got me, man."
Yeah.
You got me, bro.
You broke my neck, brother.
Yeah. Oh, God, You see Hogan made an appearance at the RNC?
I did. He's like filming demos and stuff.
Yeah,
They easily could have replaced Bagwell with Hogan in this movie and not missed a beat.
Brutus the Barber Beefcake.
That would have worked, yeah.
Complete with shears.
Yeah.
Oh god, I got one more good. Let's go with the out of nowhere Doc Cobra fantasy sequence. I think like
they're at the end. The police and police and criminal.
Yeah, like all the heroes are back together, and Doc and Cobra run off to celebrate elsewhere on Savage Beach,
over by these trees.
And the guy is just like staring off into space, and she's like, "Are you having another fantasy?" And it just it just cuts back to the strip club where she with her cover, and he's wearing like a Halloween grade like Zorro bandit
mask,
yeah, robbing the cash register.
Yeah.
It was how far like you could hear the tires squealing from the hard right turn that they took.
Yeah, and then when he comes out of his daydream, she holds up a pair of like cuffs, like she knew exactly what he was daydreaming.
He was subconsciously speaking. He was narrating his fantasy to her.
He probably was.
And just the mask, like the cheap.
Oh yeah, it was so goofy.
Yeah. So those are my three. We'll call them goods.
Yeah.
For lethal ladies. Hey Oz, what are your two bads?
My first one is the ladies needing a man to dig 3 inches to the treasure.
Yeah.
Like these ladies are competent enough. And that, you mentioned the affirmative action piece. Like the ladies were arguably more, more BA than the guys were in this film. They were more capable, which was fine. Yes. But it's like they get to this treasure and they've got that little like camping shovel that you're supposed to dig and poop a hole. You poop into the hole and then cover it back up. But they're like, oh, it's just we can't get there. And then when they do dig the treasure up, it's literally like just below the surface.
Yeah.
And so like that's a bad. It's like you ladies could have done that. You didn't need to go swimming. You could have found her. Mm-hmm. And my second is just how quickly Lethal believed that Sophia was an Interpol agent because she said she was.
Yeah. Guys, well, in that case,
I've been tracking this case for years. I'm an Interpol agent, and then she puts on that just ridiculous accent. Yeah. But they were like, "Oh, okay. Well, we've got another idea." So,
after she assaulted their colleagues,
because he was like, Doc was shot, in the thankfully hit in the medallion, but. We'll get to that in a minute. Anyway, those are my two bads. What do you got?
Right in the medallion.
Right in the medallion. Somehow still bled. I don't know where the blood came from, but
it's shrapnel,
I guess.
Mm-hmm. Oh God! As for my two bads, I got so many listed here. I'm just going to start with. We saw a lot of the ladies. No wieners.
That's okay.
I mean, it's an exploitation movie. You want to be equal opportunity here.
I would only want to see them if they were also surgically enhanced.
I mean, not that I wanted to see them, but like if to be fair is fair here.
I agree.
But again, you think you go back to who is the audience for this? Well,
we saw naked tops from both sides.
Yeah,
we didn't see any lower regions. Mm-hmm. But I would want to see. Yeah, I would only entertain that if the guys were also like. Silicone implants down there, just
silicone,
just bulbous. Like, I mean, not
bulbous,
not linked, but just like, bam.
It's
like you got a bowling pin,
like a can of Bush's beans,
but it's got a taper. That's what I want to see.
Just a cylinder can, complete with pull tab,
with label. It's aluminum somehow. But no, I'd want to see it look like it had like a bowling pin on there,
complete with red stripe.
Yeah, the talking dog. Peyton Manning.
It's the Manning cast of this movie.
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah.
So I guess that's my first bad. My second is just people, I don't know, anyone who watches this movie for any reason other than just sheer unintentional humor.
There was a lot of it. I did find myself just like, oh my God, rolling my eyes a lot because this movie it's just stupid. Like, it's stupid and ridiculous. 39 seconds, I texted and said, oh God, I love this movie. 45 seconds, I was probably like ready to turn it off.
Done.
So, yeah. Once you got
chuck the tablet into the pool.
Once you got past the opening credits, you're like, yeah, I've had enough.
Yeah. Oh, there's so many more bads.
Yeah.
Like Buff in Native American regalia. Like, ooh, that was rough.
Yeah.
That was, But alas, moving on. Hey, Oz, what's your
Why was that alarm on the bomb so talkative at the end of the movie?
It was. You better hurry up.
Right.
I am counting down.
Right. It's like, it was a very, very talkative bomb.
It was very conversive in
some
ways.
It was, too. Yeah, it's like read their thoughts. And so that was my huzz. Boy, that bomb sure was talkative. So, what's yours?
I'm just going to list a whole bunch off here. I'll use my last one for the one to post on screen here. But like, the first one is the best accommodations the Lethal Organization can afford is a Ramada Inn, and you actually saw a Ramada Inn sign.
Yeah.
So like, did they sign off on product placement for that? Something tells me no.
I doubt it. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, you saw a Ramada Inn sign in this movie.
Yeah.
How do Ava, Harry, Silk, and Willow have a live camera feed on a random grass airplane runway in the middle of nowhere, Texas? In the beginning of the movie, they're watching the terrorists land their plane, and then they're watching them get in the boat. So they do they have? It's this sophisticated satellite they have, or
but they couldn't. But they couldn't get a submarine.
No. How old is Rodrigo?
Old. He's very old.
Yeah. How heavy is that gold Buddha? and I'll go with my actual and you kind of beat me to this. You talked about this a little earlier, but like, there's a lot of dead air in Ava's sextrology radio show. She talks for about 15 seconds and then waits for an order, and you're assuming it's like hours later.
Yeah.
So, like, you think about, like, the characters who are at these safe houses in Dallas and Beverly Hills. Like, are they just listening to the dead air waiting?
Right. Yeah, because that's, like, the only two places you could pick up the reception was these briefcases.
Yeah, and so, like, are they broadcasting on just, like, an FM frequency? Or like...
It must be, because it's a K.
Yeah, and like, you're using all this coded language.
Because I know west of the Mississippi, like, radio stations start with a K, and to the east, it's a W. It's like,
so like
KSXY, like
are they filling it with like Duncan Sheik songs in between, or like
Paula Cole,
a lot of Matchbox 20.
Right. Yeah, it's like mid '90s like pop rock,
Tonic.
Tonic.
Verve Pipe.
Dishwalla.
Oh, Eve 6.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, just that.
Savage Garden. Eve 6. I remember when they came to, I think you may have been gone from Western at that point, but Eve 6 came to the campus invasion tour at WIU. Ooh. I didn't go. Only year I went was the Lit and Garbage concert, which was still a great concert.
Yeah, Garbage was great.
Lit, not so much.
Lit was bad. So hey, folks, that's Lethal Ladies Return to Savage Beach, and Oz, that also wraps up Ladies Month.
Good.
Yes. Let us never speak of it again.
Yeah. Not that movies with Hollywood does a huge disservice to movies with the word lady in the title.
Yeah. Well, we also picked some clunkers too.
We did.
We didn't cover the Lady Vanishes. We didn't cover Lady in the Tramp.
No, we didn't. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's not a lot. There, Lady in White. Yeah, we did. We easily could have padded this month with better films.
Yes, but we intentionally went the other way.
Right, because we're chauvinistic.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
So, next month's theme.
Next month's theme, as we said before, is comfort food. So we're saddling up for like a Thanksgiving dinner type month.
Even just a trip to the candy store.
Yes. Yeah, we're going to fatten ourselves back up. We're going to feel better about ourselves.
Fatten ourselves up, that's a bit low. for this next month's theme.
Oh, I didn't even think of that. Ooh, well, smooth segue. We're going from Ladies Month to John Candy movie month.
Yeah, it's Candyland month.
It is. I like that Candyland.
Candyland month.
Yeah, so I've been waiting for a while for this one. This is going to be fun.
It'll be a great month.
Again, a fun comfort food month. And Oz, we are starting with a movie that I absolutely love.
I do too.
It's not a good movie, but it's so fun.
Yeah.
Several years ago, your family joined mine up in the Dells.
Yep.
And my in-laws have a condo that's right outside the Wisconsin Dells. And so every year, I always go up there and watch 1988's The Great Outdoors.
Alone.
It is
like you don't even take the wife and kid.
No. I leave them. I leave the dogs, leave the wife and kid, and drive up and watch
the multi-hour trip up to the condo
to just turn around and come right back,
just to watch The Great Outdoors on DVD.
Yep.
Come home.
Come home. Yep. So we're gonna kick off John Candy movie month, scratching that itch, Oz, with The Great Outdoors. Oh, I love this movie.
It's a great movie. Well, it's a fun movie. It's a fun movie.
Yeah.
We've got this one. This one was also another month that was kind of tough to nail down, like, because there's so many good John Candy movies.
Yeah.
That it's like, what, and we wanted to be John Candy feature movies.
Yes.
Not like National Lampoon's Vacation, where he's
like
in it.
Or like Home Alone.
Home Alone or
JFK is another one. He has a small role in JFK.
Yeah. So there were a lot of movies that could have made the cut. And we're happy with the 4 we have.
Yeah.
For sure. So Great Outdoors for next week, for sure. Kicking off.
I have my daughter is quoting The Great Outdoors now.
Big Bear Chase Me.
She runs up to me. Big Bear Chase Me. or she references the bat scene. She'll just walk up to me and goes, "It buzzed me."
I like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think of some of Roman's lines that would not be that would be very inappropriate for your daughter to be repeating.
The only character she quotes is Roman.
Just Roman.
Yeah, it's specifically, our hot dogs are made out of.
Oh my! Oh, if you're still with us, thank you. Yes, this movie created a real this is a real bummer of an episode.
Hey, that's okay. We're gonna eat a stick of butter next week.
Yes,
we're covering The Great Outdoors.
Is that what you do for comfort?
That's my version of comfort. I just grab a box of Land O'Lakes and just eat it like a candy bar.
Oh man, nothing's more comforting to me than sucking the pimento out of a green olive. Like we're just gonna suck down a whole jar of olives next week.
Pimentos
and stuff. All right, but social media wise, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. There is a Patreon link down below. We'd love to shout your name at the beginning of every episode.
Hey.
But yeah, we will be back next month with a new theme, Candyland month, John Candy movies, and we'll be back to your pick with The Great Outdoors. So for another episode of Let's Talk About Flicks, I'm Oz.
I'm Curtis.
We'll see you guys next week.